When others are sleeping, he's up, creating new opportunities. Success, drive, determination, and motivation are all part of the Entrepreneur Adrenaline Show. And now, broadcasting coast to coast, the voice, the vision, your host, Paul Shakuri.
Hello, Entrepreneur Adrenaline fans. My name is Paul Shakuri, and today we have a unique and exciting episode because it's different. You will be able to see the live video of how excited and energetic I get within my own podcast, my own daily routines. I'm very energetic, but also articulate. I love moving my hands and getting into the mode because that's what the Entrepreneur Adrenaline Show is all about. Yeah, I timed that one perfectly. So I am Paul Shakuri, your host, and today in this episode, we're on episode number 31. I'm going to be talking to you guys about not getting so emotionally attached to your money in your daily business. It really is true. A lot of people get so attached, and I know a lot of people need to kind of get attached to their money because they have bills to pay and yada, 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 and all these different types of things and reasons as to why they want that money. But trust me when I say this, money is only a tool, and you guys need to understand that. And when you guys really understand that money is quite simply a tool, you'll know how to create more of it with your maximum potential, using the true meanings of business in what you should be doing in order to achieve and get your money working for you in a better way. If that kind of makes sense, which don't worry, break it down a little bit more in this podcast. Next, we're going to be talking about cleaning up your bad habits. A lot of us, including myself, yes, we all got bad habits, but we got to clean these bad habits up, and we need to figure out exactly what we need to do to clean these bad habits up, okay? And stop multitasking. Oh, this is a big one for me because, I'm a huge multitasker. I used to be extremely big into getting myself too far deep into my multi-businesses that I have, which means obviously more than one. And I have quite a few businesses going, and not just businesses, but within a business, I have a bunch of business ideas that I want to create. And as entrepreneurs, and a lot of you who have been obviously posting comments on my Facebook fan page, and messaging me in private, have been telling me that you guys just can't get your minds to shut off because, well, you're just multitasking too much. So I'm going to explain in a little more details, basically how to stop multitasking so much, because if you can focus on just one basic fundamental principle of business, which is focusing on one big idea and thing, you'll get a lot more advanced and ahead in your actual business. I promise you. Trust me, coming from a multitasker. All right. Don't ever lose sight of your final goals. Keep pushing through. We're going to talk about that too. But before getting into this, I want to actually go back into the previous episode, let you guys know, number one, we talked about business can be stressful, right? And this week on the Entrepreneur Adrenaline Show, you guys seen videos of myself on my Facebook fan page over at facebook.com/ENT ADR. That's quite simple. It's facebook.com. Everybody knows /ENTADR. If you haven't already liked my Facebook fan page, only if you do really believe that you like it and you like what the energy I'm giving out and the information, free information and content that I'm giving out to you guys, well, please go over there and like my stuff because it helps me, obviously. And whenever you guys help me out, it helps me help others out. And obviously, it puts a big smile on my face. So, number one, okay, did you guys implement the teachings that were in previous podcasts? Because now I'm noticing a lot more of my actual fans are carrying over into more and more episodes, listening and staying tuned to one episode after another. As a matter of fact, I'm just going over here right now, and for those of you who are, let me check this really quick. I'm going to go in and actually thank my subscribers and my listeners in many different countries. It's amazing at how we're expanding on the Entrepreneur Adrenaline Show. And it's all about getting that quality content out there, and people will find you. Those of you online marketers who are so focused on how am I going to get more and more people to actually come to my business and see what I have to offer, trust me, if you set it up the right way, they will come. So we have in Canada, that's a pretty big audience. About, I'd say this is the second largest audience, just hovering over, is Canada. My first largest audience, by far the dominant, are you American fans, who just, it's a huge market, obviously the American market. And touching in, I have some in Brazil, Colombia, not so big. Spain. But one thing I noticed is a lot of you, the third highest listening audience, which touches me because I'm originally from Canada, but I now work also in the United States. And what's drove me just to put a big smile on my face where words cannot even express is Australia. Hey, thank you, my Australian fans there. I don't know if I got the accent coming out right, but ever since the Crocodile Hunter, I guess, right? His accent, I've loved that. But hey, Australia, thank you guys for reaching out and being the third largest listening fans. China's a little bit, got not too many listening over there. And then we have India, Pakistan, and Poland is another big one. That's the fourth. Germany just a little bit, but another huge, actually just right after that country, is Sweden. I love you guys. Thank you so much, Sweden, for first of all, your hockey players, right? For you guys out there listening in Sweden, for your amazing hockey players that you guys contribute to the United States. But on top of that, thank you guys so much. I'm reaching out to listening, obviously, to this podcast. And then after that comes New Zealand. Wow, you guys are amazing too. And the list keeps going on. My goal is eventually one day to be in, I'd say, the whole world, have downloads all over. But there's a lot of other countries like Italy here. You guys don't really like me out there. France, not so many downloads. Switzerland, Portugal, and let me see over here. Bulgaria is actually pretty high on there. And yeah, so hey, just thank you so much for, again, being a true fan, staying with me. And no matter where you are, that's living proof that, you can reach out there, get the quality content that you're looking for, and, use it and utilize it in your day-to-day lives. I promise you, that's what I did as I was growing into my business and businesses, obviously. What I found out was it wasn't the knowledge that got me the income that I do have today in my businesses that I created. It was a combination of the knowledge and, more importantly, implementing that knowledge into my business. So a lot of people ask me, certain topics that I don't know about, but, I'm the big guy who says, hey, I don't know so much about that, but here are some resources. You can actually find somebody who's directly specific in charge of that niche. And if you actually research, don't just research, but listen to what they say and actually implement that. And that's why a lot of times I bring up carpentry, because a lot of my friends and fans have actually told me if I know a lot about carpentry, and I don't, but I know people who do. So I actually give them that type of information and they go through to that. And it's, you got to find that information. My show is all about motivation, drive, success, getting excited about that. How do you take your business to that next level? No matter what your business is. If you're a small to a medium-sized business, or even a starting business, getting started, you need to figure out what it's going to take to get your business to that next level. And the most important thing to understand, which I'm going to jump into a Steve Jobs actual entrepreneur video here. You're going to listen to the audio of what he basically talks about, is a good way to, if you haven't started up a business or you're in a business and you're feeling like quitting, the reason why is because you're not extremely passionate about what you're exactly doing. How much quicker are you to throw in the towel if you're not passionate about what it is you are trying to accomplish in your business? So let me jump up and cue the audio up here really quick for you guys and let you hear that, and we're going to break it down.
I'm wondering what would be the single most valuable piece of advice you'd give us to even attempt to create some of the value that you guys have done in both your very impressive companies.
People say you have to have a lot of passion for what you're doing, and it's totally true. And the reason is because it's so hard that if you don't, any rational person would give up. It's really hard. And you have to do it over a sustained period of time. So if you don't love it, if you're not having fun doing it, and you don't really love it, you're going to give up. And that's what happens to most people, actually. If you really look at the ones that ended up, being successful, unquote, in the eyes of society, and the ones that didn't, oftentimes it's the ones that are successful loved what they did so they could persevere when it got really tough. And the ones that didn't love it quit because they're sane, right? Who would want to put up with this stuff if you don't love it? So it's a lot of hard work, and it's a lot of worrying constantly. And if you don't love it, you're going to fail. So you got to love it. You got to have passion.
There you go. You hear what he said? He goes, if you don't love it, you're going to give up. Right? Think about that. If you don't love it, you're going to give up because, anyone who starts a business normally, and I'm talking the majority of people who start businesses, we start it because we got this brilliant idea in the back of our head where we go, this is the actual answer to the reason why I'm feeling what I'm feeling, which is my, lack of income that I want to create. So I got this idea to go out there and create the Entrepreneur Adrenaline Show. So in order to take my, income to that next level, it's going to be awesome because I'm going to create it. And then you go ahead and you create it. And your first day, your first week, your first month, your first couple months, you start to see there's not as big of that idea you had that's created. There's not as many people socially interacting with you, even though you actually have the capability, or even you have the ability that where you're already maybe financially wealthy, like myself, but people don't know that. And you got to win those fans. You got to win your customers. Business is like a sport that Mark Cuban talks about from the Shark Tank. You have to win your fans. And a reason why I'm also making a video here so that you guys can really see and get to know who I am, because I'm passionate about what I do. And, sure, I'm not where I want to be with my radio show just quite yet, but, I knew getting started here less than 6 months ago, it was going to take some time. Now, I'm well above where I believed I was going to be with traffic to my site, with opt-ins and all these different types of things that, first of all, my cousin I couldn't do without him, Mike Bashy, over at MikeBashy.com, has really helped me put it all together. Listening and shadowing the top podcasters in the industry, I look at them and I say, wow, what they're doing, to be honest, I believe I can do it and I can do it better. It's just a matter of time. But what you got to do, if you own an actual business, you have to get out there, get aggressive. And this is the secret to success. One, if you're passionate about what you're doing, I love teaching, regardless of what it is. Obviously, I want to pick teaching methods and teaching stuff that I know about, that I've actually mastered, but I'm a true passionate teacher. I love to teach people. And I realized that at a young age, because everything I've actually ever done good at, like even if I was, let's just say, playing hockey and I seen somebody who wasn't as good as me, I would notice guys on the ice who are taking amazing shots and just doing phenomenal. And then there's guys on the ice here who aren't doing that great and they're not even teaching them or showing them. I'm like, holy cow, teach me, teach these people. How do you get as good as you are? And, it comes back to, again, a personality trait I believe I personally have. I just really enjoy teaching. It's like I get this high out of, even if, and this is when I started this business, the Entrepreneur Adrenaline Show, I really believed, even if I were to get not one person to listen to me, not one subscriber, I can care less. As long as I'm actually broadcasting what I believe is right and what I want to say, it's going to eventually maybe track people. If not, who cares? I'm talking to myself. And it was bam, within a matter of weeks. It's crazy how people started to grab on right away, sticking around, listening, and just getting, telling me that, Paul, your energy is really contagious and I want to be around that regardless. So I tuned in and listened more and more. Yes, a lot of you guys have said that I'm real. You guys feel it, but I really want you guys to feel it as you guys listen more and more and more. If you want to go to my website, it's entadr.com. You can go over there. I want you guys to go in and browse through my site. Now, I am a horrible article writer. I hate writing. I'm passionate about speaking. I'm an amazing motivational speaker and a public speaker. However, writing is my least bit of, thing that I'm best at doing. So what I've done here within the last couple days is I've hired an actual content writer. And it's funny, this lady who I've hired to do my content writing has actually worked for me in my security business. And, she found out that selling door to door wasn't quite for her. So she actually decided to take another route. So here's what I'm telling you is there may be people in your organization or your business that are good at a different position than what they're placed at currently. There may be a person in your IT department that is actually good at sales, believe it or not, or in your sales department that is good at your IT department. So always be looking and scanning, or if you have like me, a management team that manages your businesses, make sure your management team, because as the leader, as the CEO, as the president of your company, you need to understand that you need to be always overlooking your business and making sure all four wheels are actually moving at the same time. You want to be on 4-wheel drive, not 2, right? So you want all these wheels to be moving at the same time and make sure they're nice and greased and oiled so that these wheels get, a nice flow all the time to it. So make sure, number one, that everyone who's in the position that they're in, over some due time, you'll actually find out that people may not be placed in the best order of where they're at. But, I just hired her on, so we're going to be doing a little bit of testing because I just found out by asking people directly through my Facebook fan page and making phone calls that, hey, yeah, I heard you actually have your book. You created a book and you have your own author. Can I read it? I read it and it's phenomenal. I read a bunch of information that she has and it's phenomenal. So I said, you know what? I'm going to give this lady a try and let's see. So first of all, test her out. And I know you're going to be listening to this, Virginia, because you're going to be doing a lot of what I talk about on the air. And I just want to thank you so much for stepping up and taking that role because it means a lot to me to really have and build and establish that team. Now, did I start with that 6 months ago with this business? No, I didn't, right? It takes time to put one piece of the puzzle together. But when you fix that piece of puzzle, when you fix each piece of that puzzle together, your end result, like we talked about, we want to talk about focusing on your actual long-term goals. If you're passionate about what you do, you're going to find a way to keep pushing through, okay? Keep pushing through. What does keep pushing through mean? So many of you guys, I understand, are frustrated with where you're at in your business. And, I'm going to talk a little bit about my failures on this podcast as well. So many times in my offline business, I'd have to say more in my offline than my offline world, I've came up with failures. I've had the wealth to invest into accounts that can generate more income for my personal company where cash was just sitting on the sidelines and it wasn't being put to use. So one of my failures, I'd say about 3 years ago, was I could have, overlooked my business a little bit more in detailed. And if I wasn't multitasking and doing all these things, I would have caught this little thing, which literally would have generated close to $5,000 to $10,000 a month extra a month. Yes, in my offline business, a month extra if I put that money that was sitting on the sidelines today. However, now I'm going to have to wait that I caught it 3 years later because I was multitasking, doing all these different things at once, not hiring the right people to do the work that I was doing. Now that work is kind of on the sidelines, going to work slowly today. And it's amazing that I was able to find within my establishment people who are, in my IT department can actually and has experience in payroll and all these different types of, talents that they have. And it's just I've been able to free up my time. And when you free up your time and you dedicate, this is very important, and you dedicate your time, your efforts, your energy to what matters most in your business, which is your business growth, one thing at a time with laser focus, targeted attention, you will see a definite increase in your actual business production and productivity. When you see an increase in business productivity, there's a direct reflection of the type of income that comes. It could be short term, but more or less shorter to mid long term, if that makes sense. So you may not change things up and right away get instant results to where you have a bunch of income pouring in. But over time, slowly, you will realize that you can actually have more and more income coming in as you start implementing these things. Now, another failure I incorporated into my business that I had and I noticed in my business was not getting not keeping up with the times. And I talked about that in a couple podcasts ago. It was about not keeping up with the times and understanding and believing within me that we have changed as a society. We have changed as a culture. People don't realize that business is ever so moving. The society and people in general are changing, to the new ways. The way we do business and the way we interact with one another has completely changed from today as opposed to 9 years ago when I started. Right while the iPhone Touch was kind of getting in, I remember walking into the office I was working for another gentleman out here, and I noticed walking and it was crazy that the guy goes, "Hey, look at my iPhone Touch I got." And I looked, I'm like, holy, that's insane. Anyways, and I said nothing about it and I moved forward. So I actually pushed forward and I actually did that. And knowing that everything was changing in that moment of time. If you stay up with the latest technology, the latest trends, and you start implementing these latest things like social media, Facebook, Twitter, and all these things in your business, and you start implementing it, again, don't expect instant results right away, starting off. But once you get the hang of it and you get comfortable with it and you know how to do it, perhaps you may want to dictate and give that piece of work to somebody else if you have the income to actually hire. A lot of people get extremely scared within their business to actually hire people for an actual job because they're afraid that they're going to lose money by, investing. Because sitting on the sidelines with your money is literally the worst thing you can do. I'm not saying invest all your money, but sitting on the sidelines with your money, because at the end of the year, you're going to have to pay excess amount of taxes on that money anyways. So if you can free up your time by hiring virtual assistants, by hiring a secretary, by hiring different people to run your business, what you will notice is when you have more time, do not, and I'm saying this, I have to say it. I know a lot of you entrepreneur adrenaline fans are not like this, but do not be lazy and say, now I got more time to just enjoy life. Yes, you need to enjoy life. You need to find that happy balance. But when your time gets freed up, go out there, push through, find your goals, look at what it is you have to create, and just take action every single day, bettering your business, building that foundation stronger and stronger. I'm here for that moral support, and I'm here to reassure you and tell you a lot of things of what you guys already know. So many times I've implemented things in my business that I've thought about before, but the second I heard it from other successful people and, rich people wealthy people that I hang around, they tell me, hey, Paul, you know what? Pinterest, for example, is something that I get a lot of traffic from. And dude, I knew that. You know what? I know it in the back of my head. I don't know why I didn't implement it, but it really does, huh? And they say, yeah, absolutely. As a matter of fact, it's right after YouTube that I'm getting extra traffic. You know what? I got to do that. So then I right away opened up my actual Pinterest account, just got it done. And wow, the amount of traffic that I actually get from my Pinterest pages. So it's amazing. It takes literally, how much longer for me to actually start posting my actual podcast on Pinterest too. And it's free traffic that comes to my site. Free traffic because I heard it again from somebody else who has become successful at what they've done, and I've implemented it. So a lot of what I say may resonate in your head like, yeah, that's right, I thought about that. Well, stop sitting on the sidelines. Get your mind, get your money to work, and take action. I couldn't but tell you that the number one key to success is pushing through. Push through. Keep pushing through, all right? And stop multitasking, especially coming from a guy who, did this for a really long period of time. I now understand and know that long term, it definitely doesn't increase productivity, okay? Organize your focus on separating your projects and delegating your time to those individual projects. So, for example, if I have, for example, my company, my offline business, and I need to create flyers or hire somebody to do it, I write down on a piece of paper and a notepad or, on your iMessenger or whatever, not iMessenger, your notes. You write down, the different types of things you need, the different tasks you need to do in your business. Take a look at them in priority, circle one, and get each one done. No matter how long it takes you, don't move on to the next one unless it's an absolute emergency. Get rid of each one by one. And I promise you, you will actually see a bunch more success from it. Okay? Stop multitasking. Stop multitasking. Stop multitasking. Now, we talked about in the beginning of this episode that I was going to speak to you guys about cleaning up bad habits. Oh, bad habits, bad habits. Now, the big thing with bad habits is a lot of people don't even realize that they have bad habits or are extremely stubborn. And I know this, and I'm not saying anyone, I'm not pointing any fingers here, but a lot of us don't realize we have bad habits. You know, I'm not one to point fingers to say you have this bad habit, that bad habit, but I'm here to tell you, if you're not getting enough sleep because you're overworking and you're overexhausted, that alone is a bad habit in your business. That's one thing that could be a bad habit. We talked about, putting money on the sidelines and getting it invested. That I believe is a bad habit if you don't have a plan as to why you're putting that money aside. If you have a plan, a business plan that you need to set that money aside because of some big investment or whatnot, well, that's fine. But if you're just doing things over and over again and repeating, well, that's another bad habit. I want to point out I'd have to say this is one of the biggest bad habits that online marketers have working from home. The biggest bad habit is they don't know what they're going to do in their business with working from their computer the day before, okay? So they don't set up an actual plan or an actual schedule or write down their tasks and say what it is they're going to do. The majority of people I've asked that I've coached personally one-on-one have messaged me and said, "Hey, Paul, one of the biggest, I claim, bad habits that I have, they don't use the words bad habits, but one of the biggest things that I fail in business that you talk about is writing out a plan as to what I'm going to do the next day. I sit at my computer." This is what they all say. "I sit at my computer," and a lot of you guys who are listening to this, you guys know who I'm talking about, but you guys ask me, you tell me I sit at my computer, and then I'm like, okay, what can I do to better my business now? And then you go and you start researching. Take one day to do that, and then start writing out a map of the different types of things you're going to do in your business and delegate it to yourself. Set an actual goal as to how much time you're going to accomplish it in. So for example, I would set a goal. Let's just say I have some of my tasks to be hire 5 more sales reps and post 6 more ads. Write those ads, let's just say the different types of, and this would be for my hiring manager, but let's just say I would say I write those ads so that I can give it to the hiring manager, whatever. Get the graphics designer to create the graphics so that the so-and-so, the hiring manager can actually have the graphics that he's going to put in that content. So I write these things down, and guess what? This is what I'm going to focus on tomorrow. So what is my goal behind these tasks? I need to find more salespeople to add to my offline business. And that offline business, which is yourealarmnow.com, okay, that's my online website, but Elite Security Services is my company. I need to hire more sales reps. So I need to write this out. I need to get the graphics designer, and I need to hand it over to, my hiring manager. So I write that task out. That is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to start it at 11 o'clock, let's just say, or I'm going to start it at 8 o'clock, or I'm going to start it at whatever time. And if you wake up and let's just say, you're half an hour late to get to your office, to your home office or whatever it is, well, and that's fine if you do it 1 time, 2 times. But if you're not beating yourself up in the aspect of giving yourself, that, hey, Paul, you're 30 minutes late to start work. If you're not disciplining yourself, and that's the best word to use, if you're not disciplining yourself enough to the point where you're not correcting your bad habit of not showing up to your business on time, well, that is a bad habit that keeps going on over and over and over again. And amateur business executives always tell me, amateur, this is what I'm saying, amateur, it doesn't matter if you're 5 minutes late, 10 minutes late. No, I promise you, the more disciplined you are in your business, the higher the chances of your success will be. Discipline yourself. Why is it that companies normally want you there on time? Sure, the clock starts ticking where they're paying you, but not only that, it's like if you have a set schedule, you're going to be more productive than just kicking it back. Now, if you're lazy and every single day it's like a struggle to get to your business, your online business, your offline business or whatnot, you're in the wrong business. And if that's happening to every single business that you believe you enjoy, then the bad habit is you're lazy. I'm here to break it out to you. Honestly, the bad habit is you're lazy. You got to either just stop dreaming about being successful and wealthy, because being successful and wealthy comes from having a strong mind. All right. If you have a strong mindset and you know it's going to take pushing yourself to the limit. I don't know one NHL hockey player who's made it to the NHL sitting on his couch 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or just watching TV and saying, oh, that's cool. I see how you skate faster. I see how you you slap shot, the puck. I see how you wrist shot a puck. You wrist it. I see all these things. But I'm not going to go and train every single day. Or, 3-pointers. Oh, that's cool. I see how Kobe does it. Yeah, that's awesome. But yeah. Oh, so he says, he's doing that. I see. Anyways, I could just go ahead and do it when I want to. Stop and think about that. Business is just like sports. It is just like a sport. No true NHL hockey player has made it there, or NFL football player, or NBA basketball player has ever made it there just sitting on the couch, and just researching how to become successful. Each and every one of them, I can guarantee you, started off not the best, but what they did was over time, they actually gradually got better and better and better because they had a strong mind and they pushed forward. All right, it's time for me to give a little cheers here with my organic, USDA organic coffee. I love it. And I have to say USDA organic because I hate chemicals. So, as you guys know, this is not scripted. This is every single podcast, everything as you guys can see here on the video. I speak from my heart. I speak from my experience of my I'd have to say now, 10 to 11 years of being in business in general. And, I've pushed through every single day in my business. I did not want to go to sleep, just figuring out what was going to work. It really was. It was a long journey. I have to admit, it was a long journey, but without me getting strong every single day, and without me implementing what I've learned every single day, and without me dictating and delegating jobs to other people, I would have never had the level of success that I have today. And I'm only growing. Okay. I'm going to. It's not a matter of, in my head, I have 100% certainty and belief that one day, my podcast show, Entrepreneur Adrenaline, is definitely going to be up there in the top, guaranteed top 10, guaranteed top 5, but the guaranteed first spot. And mark my words, it will be. But I know it's going to take time, and I want it to be voted the #1 highest rated podcast show on iTunes. And I really, it's something that I'm driving for. Can I expect to do that overnight? Can I expect to jump into basketball, and start learning it and play against, the LA Lakers? Can I expect to do that overnight? No. But if that was the goal I wanted to take and I wanted to do it, I would do it to the maximum fullest potential and eventually know that one day I'd get there. If quitting was not an option and 100% certainty of me getting there was everything and meant everything to me, I can, every single person can become successful at what they are trying to do. Remember that. Repetition, doing something over and over and over and over. I'm going to repeat this. And over and over and over again. Doing something over and over and over again. Okay? And expecting a different result if you're not doing anything different is setting yourself up for failure. However, doing something over and over and over again, keep trying new things, you're going to become successful eventually. And on top of it, the higher chances of achieving success over a shorter period of time, which I like to call you're increasing your frequencies. If something doesn't work and you keep working at it, try something else. If something doesn't work and it's not working, try something else. Try a different angle at making that thing work. And when you do, what you're going to find out is you will achieve your success. Now, one of my Facebook fans actually worked with me when I first moved out. And my wife and I were actually sleeping on an air mattress with not even just so you know, I think it was like $200 to $300 to my name. And, I grew from that to achieving the level of success that I had. My wife would actually make me peanut butter tortillas. So a funny Facebook fan page, which is a guy who used to work with me, it says, "Hey, Paul, congratulations. I remember you going from peanut butter tortillas to carne asada tortillas." Oh, man, that was awesome. I love that. That was so awesome. Kind of the whole effect of saying, amazing how you went from, anyway, I know you guys get it. But I saw that. I started chuckling and laughing. laughing. And, God bless you, because I know you're going through some hard times too, with health. And, my heart's out to you all the time. Life's short, man. Recently, like I said in the last couple podcasts, I had a couple of friends who out of nowhere, healthy friends, just hit the hospital in the ICU just like overnight, in a split second. Those of you people, fans and people out there who have, kids, spouse, stuff that you guys really, hold dear to you. I really mean this, and I'm genuine when I say this, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy every aspect of life. Enjoy life every single day. And I know I say this because, I'm saying this on the air because I really mean it. But on top of it, I know we get caught up in our actual every single day routine of getting to work, finding out what works, things don't work, get frustrated, go play hockey, go do this, go do that. But you really need to, because we're talking about de-stress week, right, on the show this week. But you really need to take a look at life. Those of you who have kids out there, look at your children in the eyes and enjoy the time that you have, because they grow up quick, as you guys know this. And, just like my children, my family, they grow up quick. Time is it's of the essence. You have to really, really enjoy every single minute. And when you catch yourself not really enjoying every single minute, you have to really take deep breaths, stop, bring that soul back to your body, and just enjoy life. Live it to the fullest, because you deserve it, all right? Thank you very much for listening to yet another episode here at the Entrepreneur Adrenaline Show. Fans, I love you so much. This was yet another episode. ENTADR.com. Hit it up, ENTADR.com. You guys want to message me, email me at pshak@ENTADR.com. Until the next episode, live with passion, live with drive, brand your business, get disciplined, take that business to that next level. See you on the other side.